you've got to admit that we're all very aware that this gradient of the human condition, or the quality of total expression that human beings stand for, what they exist for, have become like a wave pattern, right? Where at first you saw this huge deviation between the qualified and the unqualified. But now with this information storm, with this information highway, right? YouTube, other social media, bombarding us with information, bombarding us with complex, perspicacious thought processes that really, unbeknownst to us, amalgamate themselves in this doxastic symbolism where we have to reduce the notion to a specific symbol, right? So we use archetype as the prime example. But you must admit that the people, the leaders that we are choosing, are inferior to the average person. I mean, just look at the people out there today, right? So really what we're playing with all the time, when we're looking at myth, when we're looking at these archetypes, when we're looking at the key players that we have throughout history, and there's been so many, that what we are really looking for is we're looking beyond virtue, beyond ethics, beyond just the moral perturbations. We are really looking for the pure principle center. We want to see any living proof that one person, biological human being, much like us, was capable of achieving this feat before, like the standard of a 500-pound bench press, or any other measure, right? Where no one could break a certain land speed record, or like I say, lifting a weight. And suddenly, once one person did it, the information circulating around the globe, but more than that, the individual representing that sort of Promethean fire, the passing of the torch, that it marked that this time, right, in this era, we were to break certain standards and certain records and certain norms. And I think that there is a fundamental understanding, an unsaid understanding, that we are not living up to our potential, but that we are completely exhausted and require an upgrade. So the scrutiny of transhumanism is perfectly natural. But the unquestionable need to have to go into this endeavor when we see no other cause or recourse and that man is alone in his quest, that as we've searched for this cosmic liberty, or this liberation, really, divine justice, we could find none, and we again had to go back to the drawing board, look within ourselves, and then, not finding it within the individual autonomously, we had to begin to look around at other perspectives of the mind of man as a singular unifying force that really was like this depiction of these ants creating a bridge, that we had to come into the singular mind where we were preparing the world for a specific event, for a purpose, for the new man, for the child born in a reality. We can't really call it a society, but in a world where that child was protected but challenged from the first moment of its existence, that it was like a diamond put under pressure, that we got to the point where we could make, much like today, gold and diamonds of superior quality in a laboratory setting, but that the difference was when it comes from the nature, from the ontology, that it now proves its existence, that it could become, without all the fancy science and countless deaths of building that bridge for, again, man is a bridge and not an end, right? We get back into Nietzsche and his remembrance, but also his future prospecting, that we needed to create this world for the overman, the Übermensch. That is the true discourse, that is the true nature, that is the true discussion of this unsaid event